Hey everyone. So if you've seen my videos recently, you know that I talk a lot about Bitcoin and specifically about MSTR and more recently about their perpetual preferred stock STRC. And if you pay attention to crypto news and recent developments, STRC has been front and center in all things Bitcoin. But why? Well, it's because STRC has been hoovering up thousands and thousands and thousands of Bitcoin for MSTR's balance sheet, all without diluting a single MSTR shareholder in the process. A win-win for the company. A new way for companies to obtain Bitcoin for their balance sheets in a way that's never been done before in the history of capital markets. Now, normally, when you buy STRC, you get paid a monthly dividend, but what if I told you you can take it one step further and stay completely in the world of Bitcoin and earn your dividend, not in cash, but in cold, hard Bitcoin? Yes, that's right. Earn your dividends from STRC in Bitcoin. So that's what we're diving into today. So give this video a like and subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about the platform that allows this to become a reality, ROXOM. So what is ROXOM? Well, ROXOM is a Bitcoin capital market. And what is a Bitcoin capital market? You can buy and sell stocks and earn dividends from these stocks, from your Bitcoin, from preferred shares like STRC, all in Bitcoin. Everything on the platform is denominated in Bitcoin. Shares are priced in Bitcoin, dividends are earned in Bitcoin. There's no fiat funny money here. Now, this is an income-focused channel, and today we're focusing on specifically STRC as it just launched on the ROXOM platform for trading. Now, if you're new to Bitcoin or new to the Bitcoin treasury space, you might be wondering, what is STRC? Sounds like a bunch of mumbo jumbo that doesn't really make any sense. So to understand what STRC is, first we have to understand what MSTR, the underlying company, is. So Strategy, ticker MSTR, is a Bitcoin treasury company, which in the easiest terms of explaining it, it's a company focused on buying as much Bitcoin on their balance sheet and holding it forever, and essentially having the value of the company be the Bitcoin they hold. And in order to expedite the process of making a Bitcoin treasury company worth as much as possible, they need to get their hands on as much Bitcoin as possible, as fast as possible. And this is what Michael Saylor has done with Strategy. He's found avenues to acquire as much Bitcoin as fast as possible for the company, which they now hold over 730,000 Bitcoin, by the way, through several tools. First, it was the convertible debt. Strategy gets cash to buy Bitcoin from big investors, primarily banks and private equity, and then the toolbox expanded to selling shares of the company MSTR to the open market, generating cash so that MSTR could buy more Bitcoin on the balance sheet. And this is where their Bitcoin purchases first really exploded. But the big concern with this tool was that the more shares MSTR sold, the more it diluted the common shareholder of MSTR. So Strategy had to be, ironically, very strategic with how they go about selling the common equity to buy more Bitcoin. And then the latest frontier was digital credit. And digital credit came in the form of preferred equity, which is where STRC comes in. So now what is STRC? Well, STRC acts almost like a Bitcoin-backed bond. You buy shares of STRC, you hold, you get paid an annual dividend of 11.5% as of right now, paid monthly, and dividends are settled in US dollars. STRC holds a $100 per share peg, meaning the stock is designed to hover around that $100 per share price, no more, no less. And the dividend is variable, meaning MSTR can change this dividend as they need to keep price at that $100 per share peg. And lastly, STRC is a perpetual preferred equity, meaning there's no maturity date, meaning you can hold STRC for as long as it exists and collect your monthly dividend into perpetuity. And the one caveat, STRC dividends are 100% return of capital, which means they are taxed at a 0% tax rate until your cost basis of that STRC position reaches $0, which then I believe you begin paying capital gains tax on the dividends after that. I mean, it's probably different for a lot of different countries. I'm not a tax attorney or anything like that, so don't take my word for it. But still, if it's getting paid in capital gains tax, still a very low tax rate in most countries, and it's much more preferable than dividend income tax treatment. Now, what does MSTR do with this STRC preferred equity? Well, when demand for STRC goes up and people begin buying it, and STRC reaches just over $100 a share, they sell new shares of STRC to the market. They get cash for selling that STRC to you or I, and they use that cash to buy Bitcoin for the MSTR balance sheet. Very simple. New Bitcoin for the MSTR balance sheet, and you get an 11.5% dividend for as long as you hold it. Now, if you're a Bitcoin heavy investor like I am, you're trying to get your hands on as much cash, as much fiat currency to buy as much Bitcoin as possible. Whether that's through a job, through your covered call ETFs that I talk about a lot, whether it's through regular dividend stocks, whether it's through STRC. So I began thinking, and I'm like, why don't I just skip the entire step of earning dividends on STRC in cash and converting it into Bitcoin and just get the dividend straight up in Bitcoin? So I did. I started a small position on ROXOM, not much, about $500 Canadian, and bought my first couple of shares of STRC. That will earn me a few bucks every month straight up in Bitcoin. Now I can choose to buy more shares of STRC with this new earned Bitcoin. I can send it to my cold wallet. I can do whatever I want with it. The world is my oyster. Now, why did I decide to do this? Well, I can get paid my 11.5% dividend yield on STRC on a regular schmegular broker and make 11.5% in cash, which inflates over time. So I either have to reinvest it into more STRC, use the money to pay bills or something and have some kind of use for it, or buy some other stock or crypto or buy Bitcoin. And ROXOM solves that. It pays me that dividend in Bitcoin. I don't need to do the work myself. I would rather earn a dividend that pays me in Bitcoin that then appreciates at 30% per year cumulative annual growth rate based off of recent performance than get it in cash and hold something that depreciates by a few percent per year. I think it's a no-brainer personally. It just makes my life that much easier. Now, STRC's record date is March 15th, meaning you have to hold STRC on ROXOM by the 15th of March if you want to receive the March dividend on March 31st in Bitcoin. So technically, by the time you'll be seeing this video, unfortunately, chances are you won't make the dividend record date for this month. Now, if you buy after that, you'll have to wait until April's dividend. I have a link down in the description if you want to open an account on ROXOM and try it out for yourself. It was super easy for me to open an account, and verifying was super simple and quick. So hit up that link if you want to get started and earn your dividends from STRC in Bitcoin. So let's take a look at the platform that's making it all happen on ROXOM. So here we are on the ROXOM platform, and now the platform is slowly starting to roll out access to more and more products to buy and sell with Bitcoin, and then earn dividends in Bitcoin if it applies. But as you can see here, I'm going to look at just the things that you can buy currently because they have a lot of different assets you can already trade, but there's still some that they're getting ready to roll out. So as you can see, there's things you can trade like Nvidia, you can trade Apple, Google, Amazon, Meta, you can Bitcoin treasury companies. So if we look at Bitcoin treasury companies, you can trade MSTR, you can trade Mara Holdings, Metaplanet's coming soon. You can do Riot. You can trade Coinbase, ASST. That's the company behind SATA. I've talked about SATA before. Tesla. You can trade Tesla, and you can even invest in the normal indexes like your SPY and QQQ. And of course, the reason I'm here, STRC. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I started a small position on the platform in STRC. So if I go to assets, hold up, right here, boom, there we go. My STRC position, very small, very minor. It's like $500, $360 US. But once I start getting those dividends, I'll probably start adding more to this position. So once we get that dividend payment on March 31st, we will see what I'll do with it then. Will I save it? Will I reinvest it into STRC? Anything can happen. The platform is legit. My order went through no problem. The Bitcoin transfer itself from my other account went through smooth, pretty much instant. ROXOM is an authorized digital asset services provider and is compliant under many friendly jurisdictions. But like all platforms, there are restricted countries that can't access ROXOM, as shown below. So make sure the country you reside in is not on this list. And they also have a white paper if you want to check that out right here. I'll open up the white paper so you can see. Boom, there we go. So yeah, you can read this white paper on their website that goes through, you know, what they stand for, what their mission is with ROXOM, and you get to know the people behind the company, what the company's vision essentially stands for. So yeah, if this interests you, give ROXOM a shot, check out the platform. I've got my STRC ready to go. And as always, if you've stuck around this long, go ahead and catch another one of my videos over onto the left of your screen, and check out my channel on the right of your screen to take a look at all the other content I have to offer about investing in my personal investing journey. That's all for me today. I'm Patrick with Apex Wealth Collective. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.